Would you like to learn the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics? Or have you looking for the online institutions which can train you about the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics? Or do you have a vision which needs the knowledge of engineering mathematics in basic level or in ordinary diploma level? Or would you think that mathematics has meaning in your life? Or would you think that would you like to be the excellent and best engineer who's solving real-life problems? So the answer of those questions and even others that I haven't mentioned that you might get today in our online institutions called the Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolaim. So stay tuned. How are you everybody who is watching this fantastic video? I would like to welcome all the national and international viewers into this fantastic moment of learning the beauty of different modules or courses in ordinary diploma level. So my name is Olenjolaim, Moko Tayelo Single. Simply just you can call me Olenjolai. I am a Tanzanian. This is our national flag. That's why I have it beside me. I would like to welcome all the international students, international viewers into a beautiful country to experience different touristic attractions and also the presence of God, because God lives in Tanzania and His kingdoms is actually manifesting in every aspect of human life. So I thank God by His own grace. He has given me a gift of teaching, so I'll be standing in the positions of national and international teacher. When I say national, it means that I'll be teaching Tanzanians and also Africans or other international students who are non-Tanzanians by nationality. They are Tanzanians maybe by other factors, but nationality, they are not Tanzanian. But there are some Tanzanians who are living abroad, so I have an assignment to teach them also. And I thank God by His own grace also who has given me a gift of mathematics. It means that the teaching is me and me is teaching. So Olenjolai is teaching, teaching is Olenjolai. That's how. So it means you have actually the closest friendship with teaching. And I thank God by His own grace also His beauty, a gift of mathematics in me. So I am mathematics and mathematics is me. So Olenjolai is mathematics and mathematics is Olenjolai. That's how that we work together consistently. So I thank God also by His own grace that He has given me a gift of engineering. So here I will be standing in the positions of engineering, and my calling is in invisible engineering, which you call the electrical engineering, and all its corresponding, all of its related programs. So I thank God by His own grace. I'm engineer, and the engineering is me, and engineering is me, and I am engineering. That's how that we relate. So it means that in this program, I'll be standing in all of those three positions because I'll be teaching about engineering mathematics. This is one of the department. So today I'll be standing in those three positions. I'll be standing in the position of the teacher. I'll be standing in the positions of mathematicians. I'll be standing in the positions of what? Of engineer, because I'm not going to teach you business mathematics. I'm going to teach you engineering and scientific mathematics. And when I say scientific mathematics, we'll be focused on applied science mathematics. For example, the students who are doing ordinary diploma in laboratory technology or in laboratory science and technology, or maybe the students who are doing ordinary diploma in biotechnology, or students who are doing ordinary diploma in nutrition, so in food and nutrition, all of those we categorize them, they are studying applied science. It's not engineering, it's applied science. So I'll be standing in that positions also. I thank God by His own grace. Also, He has called me in the positions of science, so I'm a scientist, and He'll be focusing in this part. It means that just what mathematics we apply in science. That's how. So it means that today I will be standing 4 positions. But remember that Olenjolaim does not know everything about him. Basic engineering and scientific mathematics, I just know small portions of it. I always learn new concepts. So I want to tell you that, but the small portions that I know, I have an assignment to teach others. All right? Does it make a sense? Okay, wow. So let's take this opportunity to welcome all our national and international students into our online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAI. Simultaneously, I'd like to welcome you into one of our official YouTube channel that called Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAI. Wow. So you can be asking yourself so many questions. What are we doing here? The simple phrase, we are here to naturalize, or we are here to take care, vision of mankind in our beautiful country. But before even we keep on, we like to surrender our life to God, because I know, whenever any system of training, in order to be successful, there's establishments of network between a transmitter and receiver. I am your transmitter, who is transmitting the information to you in your mind, and you're a receiver, who is receiving the information from me. So in between here, we need air as the medium of communication, but we need also God to be the connector, and also to help me to teach you in a very simplified way. So let us pray, and this is called the Alpha prayer of only 1 minute. Just we pray that only 1 minute. So regardless of your religions, I'm not talking about religions here, I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven. So when I say about kingdom of heaven, I'm talking about the system of teaching. Okay, so let us pray. Our Father who is in heaven, we say thank you for this opportunity. We'd like to welcome you in order to teach us and open our mind to understand everything that you have prepared for us in the topic of vector, in the modules that called the trigonometry, vectors, and the complex number. Father, I'm praying myself as the teacher, help me to understand and help me to speak what you want me to speak, and help me to teach what you want me to teach. Help me just to mentor your students, and help me to answer questions that your students are going to ask me. And Father, I ask my students to understand everything that I'm going to teach them, and they have to think outside of the class how to solve real life problems from this piece of information. Lord Jesus, welcome, because according to your word, you say that whenever 2 or 3 gather in your name, you are in the midst. So be in the midst of this learning process, be in the midst also of the review process, and be in the midst of everything that we do as your children. Our Father, we thank you because you heard and answered our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Wonderful. Thank you very much for participating this Alpha prayer. At the end also we have Omega prayer. Okay? Because I have a fear of God, and God is the founder of these programs, and God is the supervisor of this program. So God is in charge in everything that we are doing in this program. Well, so what are we doing? So we are here to solve real life problems. That's all. We are not here in order to help you, or we are here also to help you to pass your exam, your final exams, your test 1, test 2, but those are the minor things in our orbital institutions. So our main objective of Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, to help our students to think it differently, to help our students on how they take the classroom information combined with the informal information in order to solve real life problems. All right, so get prepared to think outside of the class, and get prepared also to get some ways of solving real life problems, because that's the main objective of education. Okay, so I know that you might be a registered student to all people, or you might not be a registered student. It's your first time to meet me. I would like to welcome all the registered and unregistered students. And let me take you just to navigate. Let me just navigate with you on a few steps that you have to take for you to register yourself permanently in order to access our contents without any kinds of hassle. So are you ready for that? So it means if you check there on the blackboard, these are the steps that you have to follow to register into OLPIT. OLPIT is abbreviations of Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket OLENJOLAI. If you don't have an email, create or open a new email. And then after that, we ask you to sign in YouTube by using your email. Then the third step, we ask you to set OLPIT. So OLPIT means Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket OLENJOLAI in your YouTube. So if you're using the PC, if you're using personal computer, if you're using MacBook, if you're using what? Desktop computer, then it means that once you search it, don't write this name because it's not there. the names that which is our official YouTube, our official name of YouTube, or our official YouTube channel is called the what? It's called the Online Diploma Polyinstit of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAIM. Polyinstit is the combinations of two words, but in abbreviations, Polytechnic and Institute. So it means beside, if you're using the computer, the PC, the personal computer, or MacBook, or iPad, or desktop computer, then you see beside it on right hand side, you will see the text written Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAIM. You will see the number of videos, and you see also the number of 40 of subscribers. These are registered students, which even you are today, from today, will be categorized as a registered student, and there are so many advantages for you to be a registered student compared to a registered student. So again, if you're using the mobile phone, so this is in case you're using iPhone, if you use iPhone or use what is smartphone, okay, you're using smartphone. So when you open this, or when you click when you open, then you see the round buttons with the Tanzania national flag. Remember that is the Tanzania national flag, and then you see what the text, the name of our official YouTube channel that's called the OLPITO. It's called the Online Diploma Polyinstit of Tanzania in square bracket OLENJOLAI. You see the number of videos. We thank God by the honor grace right now we've uploaded we've published more than 100 videos. You see the number of subscribers. Right now, because of the marketing, we don't have so many registered students, but we believe within a short time, you might find great changes. Okay, so again, remember that this we call the OLPITO poster. Whenever you go in any physical institutions or college or university, you'll find a welcoming poster. So this is the welcoming poster. Don't be satisfied to see this round buttons to the national flag. You have to get inside. So once you click it, you click this one, round buttons, then you see horizontal toolbar written homes. Do you see homes? And then you'll see another buttons written what? Videos. Another buttons written what? Playlisting. Another video written what? Channel, community, and the about. Sometimes community might be there or might miss it. Depends that if you have created a community. But this one is you didn't create the community at the time of recording this video. So all of those are the steps to take you inside our online school, because the name insisted there, it is Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute. So we are providing our training through the internet. So we ask you to look the buttons mostly at the bottom of the, on the right hand side at the bottom of this video, you will see the button written subscribe. So click it and then you'll see the text is changing from subscribe into subscribe. So once you do that, then you see the icon of 40, the icon of the bell. So click this icon of the bell once, then you see 3 options. So one of the options is all, so you have to choose all. From there, you have registered yourself permanently, so you receive official notification from the YouTube community at any time we add a new video. I want to tell you that you have to visit our official YouTube channel consistently every day, because we are trying our level best to put contents every day. So again, the last 2 steps are just for you to take advantage, because we don't want you to hustle, because this is the new system for many ordinary diploma students. We ask you to click, to go back, to go at the top to check the horizontal toolbar, and then check the word written playlist. Click it there. You'll see that we create the playlist for each topic. We created the playlist for DIT. We created a playlist for NTA level 4. So take advantage of playlists. For example, we created in this module or course, which is called trigonometry, vectors, and complex number. We have a playlist for trigonometry, playlist for vectors, playlist for complex numbers. So what the means of playlist? It means we organize or we collect, it means we collecting all the related videos, or we collect all the videos that we teach about vectors and put them in one playlist where that you can take advantage of learning from the first lecture to the last lecture. So all the lectures of vector, you will find them in this playlist. Again, we know that you'll enjoy our contents. Then you think, how can I share these informations with other ordinary diploma students who are studying at the Arusha Technical, with other ordinary students who are studying in Karume Institute of Technology, Institute of Institute of Science and Technology. How can I share this information with my colleagues, with my friends who are studying at Mbeya University of Science and Technology? So it's simple. Just here at the bottom, at the right-hand side of the bottom of this video, you'll see the icon of share. Click it, then you'll be given the video link, and you can share with other students who are in social media such as WhatsApp, Facebook, email, Twitter, Telegrams, Instagram, TikToks, aside, etc., etc. So my dear students, I'd like to welcome you to Departments of Basic Engineering and Scientific Mathematics, and the modules or the course is called Trigonometry and Trigonometric Vector and the Complex Numbers. And we are in Chapter 2, and this contents we dedicate into first year diploma in engineering or science, or we call it TAYAI level 4 according to Nta, where we'll be focused on competence-based. This is Chapter 2, it's called Vectors. Today we have Lecture 5, where we are going to introduce you and teach you about scalar or dot product of two vectors. Say with me, scalar or dot product of two vectors. This means that I'm going to teach you about scalar of the two vectors, or scalar product. I'm going to teach you about scalar products of the two vectors, or I'm going to teach you dot product of two vectors. All right? So that's very important concept. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me do the quick. Let us get inside the lecture 5. Inside the lecture 5. Okay, quick review. A quick review of what? Of lecture 4. Do you remember lecture 4? So in lecture 4, we taught you, it had a title called internal and what? And external. Internal and external division. Internal and external division of what? Internal and external division of two vectors. Of a vector. Of two vectors. How can we divide two vectors by using what? Another vector into ratios. Means you can divide the vector externally and you can divide the vector also internally. So if you do remember that for internal division, of vectors, so interdivisions of vectors, we say that this is equal to means that suppose the vector is divided internally into ratio of m n. So say that these are vector A times n, then plus what? Vector B times m of what? N plus what? M. So remember that m is a ratio, m ratio n. Okay? That's internal division. So external division of what? Of a vector in ratio of m n, this is equal to m vector b minus n vector a. And then this is m minus n. Let me check if it's correct. So a n, okay, a n, b m, okay, that's fine. So that one, so it is a certain vector. External division, NA, so it's vice versa of this. So if we define in terms of vector, for example, internal division will give us a certain vector that we call vector C is equal to what? Is equal to m times vector A plus what? M times vector B over n plus m. Then external division of what? For vector C, this is equal to what? Equal to m vector A minus m vector B over n minus m. And we solved so many questions and we left it to you homework 8, homework 4. And homework 4, it was example 8. So that's about what. So in case you missed the lecture 4, you can access in our official YouTube channel. Right. So let us teach about scalar or dot product of what? Of two vectors. Two vectors. So you say that if you are given a vector A which has three components, A1, A2, and what? A3. So it's a three-dimensional vector. And also you are given vector B, which is B1, B2, B3. Right? So you say that the dot product or scalar product of two vectors, this is the new concept we didn't teach you in your form 4. For two vectors is denoted, this is denoted as what? As dot. So for instance, that if you have vector A and then you want to dot with what? One dot is vector B, that's the case. So we take the components of vector A, which is A1, A2, A3, then we dot with what? Components of vector B, which is B1, B2, B3. Right? So when we dot, we get what? A dot B. This is equal to what? So the process of dotting is just like this. So we have to multiply, because this is I component, J component, K component. I component, J component, K component. So you have to multiply what the components of vectors of the same direction. So the first stage for that case, say that multiply what? Multiply vector components of the same direction. When you say direction, for example I, for example J. So this is I, J, K. When we do that, so you say that and what? And add the resultant. The resultant. So it means that if you have vector A dot vector B, this is equal to what? Is equal to the components of I times components of J, which is A1 times B1 plus components of, the components of I in the first vector in vector A and components of B, B1, which is the components of vector B. So A1 times B1, then plus what? A2 times B2 plus A3 times what? B3. So that is the scalar or vector product. This is the scalar product of two vectors or dot product. Without, it means that this is in Cartesian form. Okay, so you say the Cartesian form, the Cartesian dot product. The product of what? Of two vectors is A dot B. A dot B, this is equal to what? A1, B1 plus A2, B2 plus A3, B3. So that the dot product of 40 of scalar of two vectors. That is scalar or dot product of two vectors. Okay. So let us do a simple example, and this will be example 9. Then I'll take you into another part. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you example 9. So the question states that given the two vector, given vector A is equal to 4i plus what? Plus 3j plus what? Plus 12k. Okay, 12k. And what? And vector B is equal to what? Is equal to 8i. 8i minus 6j. Find what? Find a square, b square, and what? And a dot what? Dot b. That is. Okay, so we'll be given a vector A and vector B. Find a square, b square, and a dot b. Solution. If it's your first time to find these questions, you might find it difficult. Okay, wonderful. But I think that I should teach you about properties. Okay, we'll teach you about properties later on. Yeah. Solution. So the first step, you have to understand a square, this is equal to vector A dot vector A. A square is equal to A dot A. A square is equal to vector A dot vector A. And also B square is equal to vector B dot vector B. That is, so whenever you find in vector A square or C square or B square, then you have to think that, wow, this is wonderful. So this is dotted product of the same vector. Wonderful. So if that's the case, you say that here we have A square is equal to vector A dot vector A. So this is equal to what? This is equal to 4i 3j 12k. So we have to dot to itself. Dot what? But the same vector. So the same vector is 4i plus 3j, then plus what? 12k. Okay? So if that's the case, you say that a square, this is equal to what? So remember that as I taught you, you say that that's the first stage. The second stage, you say that multiply components of 40, components of the same what? Direction vector. You say direction vector, example, components of I itself, components of j itself, and components of k itself. Okay, so to achieve this, you say that a square is equal to what? So it's equal to ai times 4i. I will teach you what do you get I dot I. But right now, that means just ignore the I. It means that if you don't know that I dot I, you get what, but take 4 times 4. So here you get 4 times 4 plus, take 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 plus, then take 12 times 12. So 12 times 12. Because we are doing scalar product between, or scalar product of the same vector. So this 4 times 4 is what? 16. Plus what? 3 times 3 is 9. 12 times 12 is 144. So this is what? This is equal to 19. Is equal to what? 19. Then we keep 1. So 1 plus 4, 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. Then you have 1 plus 0 is 166. So you say that therefore A square is equal to 169. Okay? So that is A square. Then we have B square. B square, this is equal to what? B dot what? Not B. Okay, so if that's the case, what is B? B, it is 8I minus what? Minus 6J. Then dot what? Dot the same vector. It's 8I minus 6J. So B square is equal to what? Is equal to B dot B, and this is equal to what? So as usual, so this is the third step. So A dot 8, we get what? So it is 8 times 8, which is 64. Negative 60 times this one makes what? 6 times 6. So you have B square is equal to what? So this makes 64 plus 36. Answer is equal to what? 100. So therefore, B square is equal to 100. Then we have been given so to find A dot B. Wonderful. So remember that for vector B, just do this little modification. 8I minus what? 6J. This is equal to what? 8I minus 6J plus 0K. So if that's the case, then we say that we are in fourth step. Fourth step, we have what? A dot B. This is equal to what? What is A? What is vector A? So vector A is what? 4I plus 3J plus what? Plus 3J plus 12K. Then we dot. We sort 8I minus 6J plus 0K. Okay? So you say that A dot B. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus what? 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Plus what? 12 times 0 is 0. 12 minus 8, 4. Remain 2. 2 minus 1, 14. Therefore, A dot B is equal to what? 14. So the scalar product or dot product gives us what? The scalar quantity. It's not a vector quantity. We are finding the dot product of the two vectors, but the response is scalar. Okay, so my dear student, if that's the case, we say that, okay, wonderful. So A dot B is equal to 14. Okay, wonderful. So you say, okay. So then now let us focus on what? Dot product. Because these components, these vector components, we call them directions. Call them direction, presentations of vector and direction. So scalar or dot product of what? The product of scalar or dot product of two vectors, or the products of what? Of unity, directional vectors. So let me teach you about scalar product of unity directional vectors. Okay? Remember that a three-dimensional vector has three unity directions. A three-dimensional vector has three unity vectors. So these are I, J, and K. I, J, and K. So you say I, this is 1, 0, 0. J, this is 0, 1, 0. K, this is 0, 0, 1. So now the questions we have on this 40. Let us learn. What do you get if you take I dot I? The response for this question is I itself just, it's a unity vector which has 1, 0, 0. Then we dot with itself. So we have 1, 0, 0. So this will make it 1 dot 1 is 1. Then 0 dot 0 is 0. So 1 plus 0 and plus 0. So 1 plus 0 plus 0 is equal to 1. So we have I dot I. This is equal to 1. Then we go for Roman 2. Roman 2 we say what? J dot what? J. So what is J? J is 0, 1, 0. Dot what? 0, 1, 0. So 0 dot 0, 0. 1 dot 1 is 1. 0 dot 0 is 0. So this means that J dot j. Remember that j dot j is equal to also what? J square. I square. I dot I is equal to I square. So j dot j is equal to what? J square. And this is equal to what? 1. Roman 2. Of k dot k. So this is equal to k squared. So k squared is what? 0,01 dot what? 0,01. So k dot k is equal to what? K squared. This is equal to what? 0, 0.0 and 0.0 and 1.1. This is equal to what? 1. So k dot k, which is equal to k squared, is equal to 1. What if we multiply different unit directional vectors? Roman 4. So let us see the result. So first of all, that's why, if you do remember that in previous example, in this example, that's why. So because of that fact, so it means that if you recall when we are looking for what? A dot B, for example. A dot B. So A dot B means we took 4i dot 8i. So simply it means that we are taking what? We are taking 4i dot what? 80i. And then we took what? 3j dot negative 6. So plus 3j dot negative 6j plus what? Then we have what? 12k dot what? 0k. So you have what? A dot B. So 4i dot 8i, so it's find that it's 4 times 8, but when you have I dot I, it is 1. Plus what? And there we have what? 3 times negative 6, but you have j dot 20 j. 10, and then plus what? Plus 0 times 12, and then we have k dot k. So that's why that you find that we dealt with only what? We dealt with with the component of vector. Okay? It's magnitude, or just the magnitude of the part. So that's why we dealt with what? This will be 12. I dot I is 1, according to what we found here. I dot I is equal to 1. I dot I is 1. Then plus what? Plus what? 3 times negative 60, it's negative 18. J dot j is 1. Then plus what? 0 times 12, it's 0. K dot k, it's 1. So you say that A dot B, this is equal to what? 32 times 1 is 32, minus 18, then plus 0. So 12 minus 8 is equal to what? 4. Then 2 minus 1 is 14. So that's why that whenever we do dot product of the components of vector of the same direction, then we find that we just deal with the whole numbers. So let us come into the second challenge that I asked you before. That what do you get if you take I dot j? So you should not bother, yourself, you should not claim. Just remember the components of I and the components of what? Of J. So the components of I are 1, 0, 0. What? According to what? According to this fact. The components of J are what? 0, 1, 0. Okay, so if that's the case, or we can write like this way. So remember, this is also similar to say it's I, means I times 1 is I, that's what is 0J, that's what is 0K. This one we notice what? With 0I, then plus what? J, plus what? 0K. Okay, so we say that I, but what? J is equal to what? So I 1 times 0 and I dot I, it is 0, plus 0J dot J, it is 0. Then 0K dot 0K, it is 0. Aha, so I dot J, this is equal to what? 0. So that's what we get. Aha. Meaning that if we dot I and J, we get 0. So to get the scalar products with two vectors, that's why that we've been dealing with each component itself. Command 5. What do you get if you take I with K? Then it should be, no, what are the components of I? It's 1, 0, 0, but what? K, 0, 0, 1. So this is K, 1.0, so it means 1.0. That gives you what? 1.0, it is equal to 1 times 0, then 0 times 0, plus what is 0 times 0, plus what is 0 times 1. 1 times 0 is 0, so this is equal to 0. 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0. So simply say that I dot K is equal to 0. The last expressions of dot products of these unit direction vectors is K dot K. No, K dot J or J dot K, whatever. So what are the components of K? 0, 0, 1. What are the components of J? 0, 1, 0. So 0 times 0 plus 0 times 1 plus what? 1 times 0. So you say that K dot J is equal to 0 times 0, it is 0. Then 0 times 1 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. This is equal to 0. So for that case, you say that K dot J is equal to 0. Okay, so that is about dot products of what? Of unity directional vector. So ladies and gentlemen, let us focus dot product in terms of angle. because when two vectors meet at a point, they do make what angle. So this we can say that the angle between two vectors. Angle between two vectors. So we say that we can find the scalar product. Of two vectors by using the angle between them. So we say that we can use the angle between two vectors. You can find the angle between two vectors. Find the angle between two vectors. What you can find, we can use wait for a moment. We can use the angle between two vectors to find the dot product. Find the dot product. We can use the angle between two vectors to find the dot product of two vectors. So you can use the angle between two vectors to find the dot product of two vectors. We can use the angle between two vectors to find the dot product of two vectors. So how? The first step, consider the figure below. Here we have a vector. We have a vector. And this vector is vector A. Okay? And here we have another directional vector, or another vector which is vector B. Okay? And this vector is horizontal vector like this. So this is OQ. And this is OR. So here we can develop a perpendicular line which will make a right angle triangle. So this one OQRS. So this is original. It means vector A and B are positional vectors. So first of all, vector A and B made an angle called theta. And if you consider the right angle OSQ or QSO, then this is opposite of the angle, this is the adjacent of the angle, this is the hypotenuse of the angle. Okay? And this is the directional vector B, which is OR. So this is just like a point of intersection between the line from another vector to this vector. Okay? So now we have to think about how we can find out. So you have to think how you can find the dot product of the two vectors, which is vector A and vector B. So the first step, consider the figure below. So this is figure 5.1. So second step, we say that vector A dot vector B, the scalar product between vector A and vector B, this is equal to what? Vector A, it is OQ. OQ. It is OQ times OR times O by OR. So you say that vector A dot vector B is equal to OQ times what? OR. Times OR. Okay? So OQ is vector A and OR is vector B. But we say that because this vector has been projected, but vector OQ is equal to vector OS. So if that's the case, you can say that vector A dot vector B is equal to OS times 30 OR. This is first equation. Okay. Again, we come into the rectangle triangle. Come into rectangle triangle. So that will be the third step. Third step, we say that consider rectangle triangle OSQ. So if we do consider, so this is angle theta. So this is Q, this is S, this is O. But here still a vector A. So to know the distance from OQ, we can find its magnitude. So if we magnitude vector A, then we get the length from 0 to B. So if that's the case, we say that if you are looking cosine of angle theta, this is equal to adjacent of the rectangle triangle of hypotenuse. So what the adjacent in this rectangle triangle? The adjacent of this rectangle triangle is the OS of hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is magnitude of 40 of vector A. So we say that the cos of what? So this is what? Figure 5.2. So say cos of theta is equal to OS of a magnitude of vector A. So make OS the subject. So magnitude of vector A is equal to cosine of angle theta is equal to OS. Okay, so this is what? Equation 2. To get also the length from O to R, we have to find magnitude of vector B, because vector B, it has both magnitude and the direction. So when we're dealing with trigonometrical sides or trigonometrical functions, we have to deal with sides of the triangle, and we'll be dealing with lengths of the or magnitude of the triangle, of the side of each side of the triangle, rather than what direction. So we say, but OR is equal to vector B, right? Vector B. So if it's equal to vector B, say that's fine. So let us consider our equation 1 and put it in a proper way. But we say to find scalar product between vector A and vector B, we have to take OS times what? OR. So because the scalar product of the two vectors is scalar quantity, not vector, like the way it is, because here it is vector, just this has magnitude direction, magnitude direction. So say that to find A dot B, so say that apply what? Absolute sign to what? To the right hand side of equation 1. So we have A dot B. This is equal to what? OS. So OS means you are finding magnitude of OS. Apply by what? Magnitude of OR. Magnitude of OR. Alright? So if you refer, so you go into the next step, which is the first step. First step said that now substitute equation what? Equation 2 in what? In equation 1. So if you do so, you have vector A dot vector B. This is equal to what? Magnitude of vector OS magnitude of vector OS, it's what? It's magnitude of vector A cosine of angle theta. And I have to multiply with what? So magnitude of vector OR. Vector OR is equivalent, is equal to vector B. So A dot B now, by using the angle between the two vectors, will be given as what? Magnitude of vector A times cosine of angle theta multiplied by magnitude of vector B. So generally now we say that the second formula of what? Dot or scalar products of two vectors is what? A dot B is equal to magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, cosine of angle theta. Right? So you say vector A dot vector B is equal to magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, cosine of 40 of angle theta. So this is a very important formula in vector more than you think. So take it in your mind. Okay, so from this formula we can find the angle. angle between angle formed between two vectors. Angle between, finding angle between two vectors. Finding angle between two vectors. So I say that from the formula of dot product A dot B is equal to magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, cosine of angle theta. So we can divide this magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B. On this side, divide this magnitude of vector A and magnitude of vector B. So you have vector A with vector B divided by magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B. This is equal to what? Cosine of angle theta. Divided by what? By cos. And then this one, we have 1 divided by cos. Okay? So cosine and cosine cancel. So here you have 1 over cosine of vector A and vector B. Of what? Of magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B is equal to theta. So then here it is what? Cos inverse. Cos inverse of what? Vector A dot vector B. Magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B is equal to theta. Okay? So we say that, so this is the formula. So this is the formula that can help us to find out the angle between two vectors. So let me present to you example 9, example 10, which is going to teach you about this concept. So example 10. Find A angle B P dot Q given vector P is equal to I plus 2J plus 2K. Then have vector Q is equal to 2I plus what? 3J minus what? 6K. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're asking yourself questions that what the meaning of this word overcut. Well, as I said that I'm electronics and telecommunication engineer, or I'm electrical and computer scientist. I'm electrical engineer and computer scientist, or I'm electronics engineer and telecommunication engineer. So it means that, you know, engineering has two parts, theory and the practical. So whenever we go in our workshops, we have to, for electronics, electronics workshops or some of the telecommunications workshop, we have to dress in this style. So this is the invitation to you, to your mindset, that you have to think as an engineer, and you have to think differently from your classmate, from your group, from your friends, and from your network. So we have to find A angle, and B, we have to find vector P. So we say that vector P dot vector Q. Solution. Solution. So we say that we are looking for the angle. And then so being asked to find P dot Q. So if you are looking from the angle, we have a formula of 30. So if you dot it, so you can dot that and 30. You can find also P dot P. Okay. So the first step, let us start with a solution for Roman B. Because when we get the answer in Roman B, we use that answer to find what we have been asked in Roman A, the angle. So the first step, we say that we call the general formula of Cartesian dot product of two vectors. So you say that vector A, the vector B, this is equal to it. If you've given vector A, it is A1, A2, A3, so we dot with what? Components of B1, B2, B3. So this will say what? This will give us what? A1, A2, no, A1, B1, plus A2, B2, plus A3, B3. So A dot B, this is equal to what, ladies and gentlemen? So A dot B is equal to, so that's the formula. So similarly, we say that P dot Q is equal to what? P1, P2, P3 dot Q. Q1, Q2, Q3. So we say P dot Q. P1 dot Q1. So this will make P1 Q1 plus P2 dot Q2 plus P3 dot Q3. So that we expect. So this is P1, P1 is 1, P2 is 2, P3 it is 2. Q1 is 2, Q2 it is 3, and Q3 is negative 6. So to find P dot Q, this is equal to what? Is equal to I plus what? 2J plus what? 2K dot what? Dot 2I plus what? 3J, then say what minus what? 3K. So we have P, Q dot Q, so we have I dot I. So it means 1 times 2. Means, yes, I dot 2I. We get what? 2. Then 2J dot 3J. We get what? 2 times 3. Then we have what? 2K dot negative 6K. So we get what? 2 times negative 6. So here we have what? 2. Then plus what? Plus 6. Then minus what? Minus 12. So 2 plus 6 is 8 minus 12. So you have P is equal to what? Is equal to 2 plus 6 minus 12. So the answer is -4. This is P dot Q is equal to -4. But the answer for Roman T, Roman B. Here it's Roman A. M. M, okay? So first step, so this is second step. So the third step, we say that to recall the polar form of scalar products of the two vectors, which is A dot B is equal to magnitude of A plus magnitude of B cosine of angle theta. We make theta the tablet is equal to cos inverse of A dot B over magnitude of A magnitude of B. So that is in terms of A. In terms of P and Q, say theta is cos inverse of what? Theta is cos inverse of P dot Q over magnitude of P times magnitude of Q. So this is equal to what? Listen careful. Cos inverse so the first step, let us find out, let's find theta. But find theta, theta is theta, this is what? Cos inverse of P dot Q. P dot Q is what? It's -4. Then I have magnitude of 40, magnitude of P. Magnitude of P, it is square root. What are the components of P? 1 square plus 2 square plus what? Plus 2 square. Okay? And then, here it is. So 2 square plus what? 2 square plus 3 square minus, okay, or plus what? -6 square. Or you can find magnitude of vector A, P itself and magnitude of vector Q itself. Then you substitute and you find the cos inverse of the angle obtained there. So theta is equal to cos inverse of -4. You have what? The square root of what? 1 plus, so 1 square, 2 squared is 4, so 5. So 2 squared is 4, so 9. So this is square root of 9. Cos 4, 4, 8, plus 1 is 9. Here you have 4, this is 9, so makes, this is 36. So you have 36 plus 9 plus 4, listen. Here's 4 plus 9 plus 36. So this makes what? 19 then 49. So you're looking at the cos inverse of this angle. But this one also it is square. So square root of 49. So theta is equal to cosine of -4. Don't ignore that negative sign. And here under root of 93, under root of 97. So this makes what? Cos inverse of -4 over 21. So you may take your original scientific calculator if you have it, in case you lost it or you gave it to your young brother or your young sister. Don't worry, you can order your original scientific calculator in our online diploma library of Tanzania with a very affordable, or with only gift of 55 Tanzania shillings for number 1. That is Casio function 991 original. And for the fake scientific calculator, but it's Casio 991, FX it means 991, it's what? It's costing only 35,000, and we can transfer or we can send to you in any region or in any institutions of 31 regions of the United Republic of Tanzania. So here we have what? -4 over 21. 34 over 21. Then we're looking at cos inverse. So shift cos inverse of the answer. Oh, my scientific calculator is in radian mode. So let me bring it to degree. Remember that this is -4 over 21 degree. Okay, so shift cos inverse of the answer. The answer is what? The angle is 100.98 degrees. So therefore, answer for man A. Therefore, the angle between vector P and Q is simply 100.98 degrees. If you estimate in one decimal places, it's 101.